Hello, my YouTube family and friends. I pray that everyone is having a beautiful, blessed Sunday. It is indeed a blessing to be alive. I pray that, I just pray God's blessings over your life. So I wanted to hop on here real quick. I'm trying not to be before you long. I started making the video and my phone got too hot. So didn't realize it was that warm because it says it's 48 degrees, but I'm sitting directly, I guess, in the sun, so that's why. But I want to direct your attention to Proverbs 6:25, and it reads, do not lust in your heart after her beauty, or let her captivate you with her eyes. I'm going to read that again. Do not lust in your heart after her beauty, or let her captivate you with her eyes. And so Proverbs 6:25. So it was in my spirit just to share this. I don't know who it's for, but I wanted to come on here and be obedient. We have to be so mindful of how we're looking at people and what we're thinking while we're looking at people, because a lot of times, we can, it's lust, most of the time it is, you're looking at somebody and saying, that's a good looking man there. And then it goes from saying good looking, if you're around them enough, then it goes from that to actually, lusting after them. So we have to be mindful. But I wanted to share something just to free myself of it. And then I pray I free someone else. The Lord allows me to minister and free someone else. And so the church that we were attending back in Tennessee, this happened, I'll say probably, I'll say 2019, 2020, something like that. Well, I don't think it was 2020, so that was during COVID. So probably 2019, 2018, something like that. But anyway, there was a family, they were sort of new to the church, and so they came in, and husband, wife, and they had children. And so I was over, and I'm talking about myself, lusting. So I'm going to tell you give you my testimony. And so I was over the young women. And then the man who I'm referring to, who I was sort of lusting after, and maybe it wasn't really full blown lust, but it was probably getting there. But he was actually over the young men. He was assisting. He wasn't over him. He was assisting with the young men. So we kind of had a few, interactions there, because whenever the young women would meet, then they would meet too. And then so we kind of had where we had meetings together sometimes or whatever, ate together, the little meetings or whatever. So anyway, we there were some times where, and we didn't really talk, we just sort of briefly spoke or whatever. So anyway, nice looking guy, whatever, like I say, he was married and everything, and I was married too. So there was nothing going on in my marriage life or anything to justify why I was doing that. I was just doing that. And so all that was an evil spirit, because the enemy was hoping that I would act upon that, or hoping that I would go further into that, but I never did, because I was like, hey, this is wrong. And even I would sort of be convicted, I wasn't sort of, I would get convicted, when I would put my eyes upon him, and I'm like, wait a minute, what am I doing? And so anyway, nice looking man, seemed like he took care of his family, whatever. But again, it didn't come from me not getting attention at home. It didn't come from any of that. It was just strictly, it was just a lie from the pit of hell. It was wicked. It was evil. You can keep going on and on and on. And I thank the Lord that it did not go any farther, but I do definitely see how things can happen, even in God's house. We're supposed to be going there, and primarily the primary reason why this was going on was because I was not in my word. I wasn't in my word. That's when remember I told you all I was going to church just to be seen, just to look pretty, carrying the Bible, and didn't even know what any of the books were in the Bible. Just trying to be seen, people pleasing. It was just a lot going on that I needed delivering from at that particular time in my life. And all I had to do was seek the Lord, but I wasn't seeking the Lord. I was seeking people. So that's how things come into our life. You know, I can understand, excuse me, not saying it's right, but I can understand how people can get distracted. I can understand how people, I'm like, well, how did that happen right there in the church? It almost happened to me. And again, nothing was ever acted upon it, but it was initiating in my mind. You know, every time we would have those meetings or I would see him, I'm like, you know, but it was very indiscreet. You know, I never like went up to him and started trying to talk to him or anything. But I was, you know, we say, hey, how you doing? You know, whatever. And kind of mention the children or something. But no, it never went any farther than that. But anyway, I just wanted to share that. But I had I was on the receiving end recently at the church that we're attending, and we have to be so very careful that when someone approaches us, even my children, you know, they told me, they said, you know, Mom, I've had this happen to me a few times at the church that we're attending now, and I'm like, you know, I don't need a man to tell me, you know, how I look. I know who I am now in Christ. I know how I look. You know, I get up every morning, look in the mirror, I'm putting my lipstick, my eyeshadow on or whatever. So I know, you know, I don't need you to reiterate what I already know. You know, I'm talking about a man, but you know, we have to be careful that in the Lord's house, it's not a dating place. And I'm not talking about myself this time. I'm talking about someone else initiating it, men initiating it on women. And like I said, it's happened to me on 2 occasions at the church we're going to. And I'm like, you know, and the Lord revealed to me last week. I was just like, it was one morning I woke up and I was like, yeah, that's lust, you know. And even the gentleman even said it. He said, yeah, you know, I've been thinking about you, and I've been, you know, and we're not, the Lord's house is not a dating app. It's not a place where you come, a social dating place where you come and meet people and hook up with people and go have sex with them or go drink with them. You know, that's what, you know, that's not the true intent of Jesus, of the house of the Lord. It's for us to feel his Holy Spirit, you know, for us to hear his word and then go out into a dying world and share his word, his holy word. So again, you know, I thought about that and I'm like, you know, gosh, that's lust. You know, here are men lusting, and the one of the men, he was a lot older than me. He approached me in a manner, and I can't remember exactly what he said, but he was just like, you know, I knew, you know, he was telling me, you know, about his and we have to be so very careful. The enemy, he knows what we like. He knows that, you know, once upon a time I love being complimented. He knows that. Right now, in the season I'm in now, if I get complimented, that's fine, but I'm not just like, you know, basking in it like I used to be. But the enemy knows that. He knows what we like. He knows, you know, he knows that I used to love being sweet talked to. You know, somebody saying something to me that really just makes me get in my feelings. He knows all of this. He studies us. He knows us. So that's why we have to be so mindful of who we allow, you know, to say things to us and things. You know, you got to shut it down. You got to shut it down. And so again, this older gentleman, you know, because even my children, they said, Mommy, you always talk. I said, yeah, you know, I like ministering to people, but a lot of times people can take your ministering or your witnessing as, you know, you being flirty, or they're not even hearing what you're saying. And my late husband used to say that all the time. He's like, they're not hearing anything that you're saying. All they got on their mind is what they want. And I was like, you know, that's true. That's true. But again, the conversation, it was going good, and then all of a sudden it just went south. You know, he started talking about, he was telling me, it seemed like, you know, he was telling me about what was going on with his issues in his life. And I was like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna be praying for you. And then it went from that to asking me, do I need some money? You know, asking me, giving me his number. And I'm like, what? You know, and I totally, I deleted that number. I took it from him. just trying to be nice. But because I was like, okay, I don't want nothing to go south. We still in the house of the Lord. Because some people, you know, when you to them that's a form of rejection, and they just, you know, act a fool on you in public. So I just went ahead and took it because I felt like he was coming from a place initially, from a good place, but then, like I said, the conversation went south somehow, and he went on to say, yeah, if you need some money anytime or you need anything, you know, and I'm like, what? How did it? I don't need anything, you know, I'm good. So again, that comes from, you know, we have to be so mindful of the enemy's tactics, and we'll just say, if I was silly enough to have taken his offer and called him, and I could tell, these two that have approached me, they have nothing good, no good intent for me. And you know, I was listening to I like watching the 48 hours, I think it's called 48 Hours Investigates, or ID, or whatever it's called. It's on YouTube, and then it's also on our television. But I like watching that because it reminds me how to be alert. It reminds me how to be careful. You know, there are people that the enemy is using and wants to use to destroy you, to destroy me. And you know, just say, I'm just going to give you an example. I haven't acted on anything, but I just want to share with you how things can go south so quickly. Just say if I just said, you know what, I'm just going to call him. He gave me his number. I'm going to call him just to, you know, you're doing it just for fun. You know, you're just doing it just to do something. And then, you know, you meet up with him and go out with this guy, and next thing you know, you never heard from him ever again. Or you know, they try to rape you, or they do rape you, or they just, I don't know. You know, it's so much evil in this world. You know, we cannot leave anything to chance. We can't leave anything, you know, just say, I was just having fun. Because you better be using your best judgment in everything you do. Everything you do, especially when it involves you or your family. You better be using every bit of judgment that you can possibly pull from. Because again, people are, I felt that while I was talking to him, and then I kind of felt a little silly, because I'm like, this man has nothing nice on his mind. He has nothing nice on his mind. Because he made a comment, and he said, I can't remember because it's been a while ago now, some months ago, but he said, what did he tell? He said, I'm trying to remember, what did he say to me? Because I was like, what? He said, as pretty as you are, or with that nice body you have. I can't remember exactly verbatim, but I just know that what he said to me, it made me uncomfortable. And I'm thinking to myself, why would you even approach me that way? And I'm sitting here listening to you telling me all the stuff you got going on. You need to be falling on your knees right then, praying to Jesus about everything. And then two, you coming at me like I'm some, just, you know, I guess some loose woman. And here I am trying to, you know, listen to you, and trying to, because I was just walking over in the cafe area where they serve the coffee and the tea and all that. And I just spoke to him, you know, hey, how you doing? And it went like that. And I saw him today, but I don't know if he remembers me or whatever, because I've been changing my hairstyle. But I saw him today, and I didn't, you know, there was no interaction or anything. But my mind immediately went back to when we first, you know, that Sunday we met. But again, there are people coming to church, lusting after people. They're coming to church. That's why they're primarily coming to church, you know, so they can get a glimpse of that person. And I remember back in the South, they did that a lot. You know, the women came to church in they tight dresses, they tight skirts or whatever, you know, making sure every curve was showing through their clothing. And hair, you know, everything was just done up. And we doing all this, and we tore up on the inside. You know, we are completely falling apart on the inside, but we're trying to look good on the outside. We're trying to look good. So again, if you don't hear anything else I've said in this video, please do not be going into the Lord's house lusting after anybody. You know, I admit, I shared with you at the beginning of this video, that's what I did. And you know, maybe it wasn't lust, maybe it was just admiring him, but I felt like, you know, it was that. Because, I mean, I didn't just think about him. No, I wasn't thinking about him all the time. No, none of that. But here I had a good husband. The husband did every and anything for me. But yet, the enemy was trying to get me distracted to look at this man. You know, and I think it was due in part to, we had some interaction, you know, at the church. That's not an excuse, but, you know, I'm just being honest. That's what was happening. And so, again, you know, we have to be careful. We really do. And I know that came from a place from back in the day, like I said, when I was fancy free, I was dating, and, you know, I had, you know, I could pick whoever I wanted to date, you know, but then, you know, at this particular time in my life, my husband was living, I was still married. And so I don't know if that was just a distraction, you know, trying to get my mind off of all what I had going on. Because at this particular time in my life, when I was doing that, lusting or whatever you want to call it, I was so in need of Jesus, of the hand of Jesus in my life. And I was yet running from it. I was in the place to receive the healing, but I wasn't reaching out for the healing. So again, do not be going to the Lord's house. That's one place you do not want to go to look for no man or a spouse. You're not supposed to be going there for that. You know, I was married, but I'm talking about you single, or even if you're married. You know, that's not what God's house is for. It's not a dating place. You know, people are going there. They see somebody they like, and you know, oh, she's so pretty, and she, you know, or he's so handsome, and let me, you know, and that's the reason that they're going to this church. You know, that's the reason, so they can catch a glimpse of that person every day or every Sunday. But that's not why you should be going. You should be going to hear the word of the Lord, because that's how your life is going to be transformed, and he's going to remove that lustful heart in you. He's going to remove that you know, whatever you're doing is not of him. He's going to remove it. But you have to be seeking him. You can't just be saying, oh, I go to that church. You know, you got to be seeking his face. So again, if that's the reason you're going somewhere, you may need to quit going. Pray, fast, ask the Lord to show you what church home he has for you. Because you don't need to be going anywhere where you lusting after anybody. And I can remember in the South, it would be offering time, and that's when everybody got to go around. If you didn't get your outfit, if your outfit was not seen the whole, you know, by the time of that, it would be seen then, because everybody got a chance to look at what everybody had on, you know, when it was offering time. Because you know, you walking around just about the whole length, in a complete circle of the church. So you know, we had three sets of pews, one in the middle and two on either side, left and the right. And so when the left and right would go at the same time, but the left and the right would get a chance to view the middle, because they had already gone before us. And so, you know, like I said, if you didn't get a chance to show off what you had on, or your hairstyle or whatever, that was your time to shine. That's just how it was, you know. So again, don't be going to church. Don't be attending the church to catch a glimpse of anybody. Don't be attending the church to be lusting after nobody. Don't be attending the church to trying to date somebody and saying, you know, well, I'm going because, you know, I want to get a chance to ask her for her number, or ask him for his number. That's not the reason you should be going to church. And again, if that's the reason you're going, again, you need to ask the Lord to reveal to you the church home he has for you. Because if that's a distraction for you, whoever you looking at and you got your lustful eyes on, you need to go somewhere else so you can be fed. You can be fed the holy word of Jesus. And again, you know, we just gotta be careful, y'all. It's so many traps that the enemy is trying to set for us. He knows that his time is short. And we gotta be strong. We gotta be stronger than what we are. Quit falling to traps of the enemy, and quit allowing people to use us. You know, you do stuff, and then you know, it goes on for years and years until you wake up and say, oh, I should not have done that. And things like that, when you lusting after somebody and you act upon it, it's nothing good is going to come out of it. Nothing good is going to come out of that lusting. What's going to happen? You're going to have sex, you end up having sex with them, and it's going, I'm telling you, it's going to go south after that. You're not going, if you get married, I mean, you probably won't stay married very long. I'm just going to be honest. That's never happened to me, but I'm telling you how people who have testified about this. It never ends good. You've broken up a home. You've can't get rid of somebody you thought was for you, and they're a stalker. I mean, it can go so many ways. Why? Because the hand of Jesus wasn't in it. That's why. So I pray. I come on here, and I want to share just honesty, things that I have gone through. I'm still going through. God is making me over. But I want to help somebody, because, you know, I don't want to come on here and acting like I got it all together, because I sure don't. And you don't either, if you be honest with yourself. You know, let's quit the faking and lying. Tell the truth. It's going to set you free, and it's going to set somebody else free. Quit, you know, using social media as a tool to make yourself look good. As a tool nobody wants to talk about the ugly stuff. And I shared this before, and I'll share it again. You know, when we get a new job, nobody want to talk about the crying and almost the depression we went through trying to find a new job. We want to talk about, oh, you know, that job, it was the job that it was for me. You know, we want to talk about all the pretty and fluffy stuff. But talk about everything. How God took you through that situation. How God revealed things to you to make you better, so you will be really good on the next job. You know, talk about everything. When you testify about it all. Don't pick and choose what you think people want to hear. Because the very thing that you think they don't want to hear, that's what they need to hear. And that's what you need to talk about, so you can be freed of it. So as always, I pray you always hear Jesus speaking through me, and not just me. I pray that every prayer that you've ever prayed to Jesus, that he will answer it according to his holy, perfect, beautiful will for your life. Always remember, I love you, but Jesus loves you so much more. Thank you all so much for listening. Thank you for allowing me to be honest. And I thank Jesus for allowing me to share so much, because I've been so freed. I feel freer than I've ever felt, ever. I'm 50 years old, and I feel so free now. I feel like I've been chained up for years, even in my marriage. Not in a bad marriage. I'm talking about, it's a lot of things that I was dealing with and struggling with spiritually. And God has he's loosened a lot of those chains. He's broke me free of those chains. So I give him all his honor, his glory, and his praise. And please remember, the best is still yet to come. Have a great day.